Welcome to Fall Ritual Haunted Attraction Reviews 2019. Today, I want to talk about Pennhurst Asylum in Spring City, PA. Pennhurst has 4 attractions: the Asylum, the Morgue, Containment, and the Mayflower Building. Pennhurst is a place we've been to several times before in the past. It's one of the, what I consider, I guess, the big 4 in this area, along with Bates, Eastern State, Field of Screams, and Pennhurst. They're like what I consider the big 4. This place has probably the most expensive pricing that there is out there. It's 4 attractions. You can do 4 attractions for $49. They do have coupons. I know they're on like the 13 Haunts website. So yeah, I know you can definitely get coupons for them. They do have a VIP. VIP, I believe, is $78. Again, I think there's coupons for that. They do group discounts as well, but I don't believe they do a military discount. At least I didn't see on their website, but I'm sure if you email them or ask, they might do it, but I just didn't see it on their website. I'm sure you know Pennhurst. It's the old asylum. It was a state hospital, you know, closed in 1987. It's been abandoned since then. It opened as a haunted attraction in 2010, and every year it seems to get bigger and bigger. This place definitely gets very large crowds. We went this past Saturday night, and to be honest, I was just so nervous of going. I'm like, oh, God, Saturday before Halloween, this is going to be so crazy with the lines and the crowd and everything. But I made sure, I told everyone, I'm like, I want to get there early. I want to get there right when it opens. Lines were long, but we did luck out, and they weren't too bad. This place has, I would say, the worst parking. They just do not have the space to handle the amount of people that are going there. The drive up to it, though, if you can get there early, if you can get in like the main parking lot, the drive up there on this road is very creepy. So make sure if you're gonna go, get there early and try and get. Sometimes if it's crowded, they have it blocked off so you can't get down that main road. They'll take you like a back road to it. But that road driving up to it is very creepy. And then when you park, you're gonna like walk through like this little wooded area, and then you're gonna start seeing some buildings. Very creepy as well. And then you're gonna go through like a tunnel to get to the actual attraction part in the ticket booth. The ticket booth, they do have it broken down. Online tickets, you can get tickets there, cash, credit, they do have it, you know, separate. We did all 4. As always, I'm going to talk to you how we did it. I don't know how, if you can do others. They try and like get everyone to go in like the same order. Usually we just follow the crowd. I think you can either do the asylum first or the morgue first. But I don't think you can do the containment or the Mayflower first. I think they try and get you to those 2 first. They are definitely the most crowded. We did the asylum first. That was the longest line we waited in. This place gets very busy to the point where they have like a little like concession stand like with the line. So if you're waiting there a long time, they definitely have like drinks and like pretzels and candy and stuff like that. There's not much like actors outside doing, you see like a lot of line actors, you see a lot of people entertaining. There was a guy who, in the line for the morgue section, there was this guy like breathing fire and hammering like nails in them or something. I'm not sure. That entertainment was for the morgue. We didn't really get much entertainment for the asylum. When we went to the morgue section, he was no longer there, so not too many line entertainment going on. Since it was Saturday, since it gets very busy, they do let a lot of people in at once. I'm talking maybe like we went in with probably about 30 people. Again, it's just because it was a Saturday night, it was busy. I'm sure earlier in the season when it's not as busy, they will let smaller groups in. So the asylum was the first thing we did. It's a very long attraction. Again, I have no concept of time. It was probably a good 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, I guess you'll go through this whole asylum building. The actors there will touch you. That's what they're not gonna like grab you or push you or shove you, but you'll definitely feel hands grabbing your legs, your shoulder, your arms. They, for some reason, love touching like women's hair. So all the ladies out there, you might want to wear a hat, you might want to wear a hood if you don't like people touching your hair, because they definitely love touching women's hair. There is a lot of fog and strobe lights going on, and there are a lot of loud sounds. This is a very intense, very sensory overload type place. There's definitely a lot of things going on. People screaming at you, actors everywhere, actors on the ceiling, below the floors, out from all over the place. It's just tons of actors, and it is a very intense type building to walk through. There are stairs in there. You're going to walk upstairs, you're going to walk downstairs, so keep that in mind if you have trouble getting up and down stairs. You will go through parts with stairs. There's definitely some really cool effects that they do in there, some really cool set designs. It is definitely one of the higher end attractions with what they're doing with the actors, sets, props, everything. But since we went in with about 30 people, we did miss out on the jump scares. I mean, I could see where there's supposed to be a jump scare and the actor's already out, getting the people in front of us. So definitely missed out on the jump scares, but for me, it's definitely cool to go through and just look at, what the actors are wearing, the makeup, props, sets, which again is incredible what they're doing there. After the asylum building, we went around and did the morgue. The morgue, there's two attractions that are like underground. The morgue is one of them. So you definitely, again, you have to go downstairs to get into it, and you have to go upstairs to get out of it. But that's the only time you're dealing with stairs in that attraction. Again, this attraction has a lot of fog, a lot of lights, a lot of strobe lights. It's just, and it's dark. It's very dark in this. So you don't really know how many actors are in there. my stepniece said, oh, it seemed like a lot less actors. I'm like, no, I think there's way more actors in there than you thought. You just couldn't really see them, or, you know, since there's so many people going through, we didn't get those jump scares. But there was definitely a lot of actors. There was one part, I'm not sure if it was in the morgue or the containment, it was definitely an underground part. They had these huge, like, I don't even know what you would call them, like these, like, not like alien pods, but like these giant, like, human bodies in like this liquid, like this fluid. It almost looked like formaldehyde or something, and it was unbelievable that there's like life-size bodies in these big glass cylinder type things. It was just so cool to see. Pretty sure that was in the morgue part. That definitely was. I'm just staring at it. I'm like, wow, like how do they do this? How do they pull this off? This is really cool. Again, though, we went in with a lot of people, so like I said, we missed some of the jump scares, but again, it was just cool. The props, the sets, what they're doing is just, it is really cool. It's definitely a unique place with what they're doing. The morgue, that section wasn't too long. I would say it was about maybe 10, 15 minutes at the most. So we were in and out, especially when they cattle you through. We were kind of in and out pretty quick. After the morgue, we went to the containment attraction. Again, that is underground. So again, you're gonna have to go downstairs to get into it and then go upstairs to get out of it. Again, this place uses a lot of fog, a lot of strobe lights, and a lot of this section, this part of it had these really cool like red lights. I remember in past years the red lights were like a little cooler what they did with them, but it's still very cool what they do with these like red lights, the fog. It is extremely dark in some parts of the containment, to the point where you just can't, you gotta hold your arms out. Obviously there's going to be people in front of you, so just hold on to them. That, you know, it's very dark, very tight spaces. There's one part it looks like almost like these like catacombs. Very dark, very tight. There's actors in there. There's actors on the ceiling, like trying to grab at you. This place doesn't use that many animatronics. They definitely go more towards actors and props, and props I mean like the catacomb part with the skeletons. It's not animatronics, it's actual just props they use, which is really cool. Some of the stuff they do is really unique. Just keep in mind it's going to be very dark in that containment. And that lasted probably about 10-15 minutes. It was like the morgue. There was actually no line for that containment part. So we were, as soon as we walked up, we went right in, went right out. The last thing we did was the Mayflower building. This is just an old abandoned looking building. There are no actors in there. It's almost kind of set up like a museum, where you can just look at stuff. You can't touch anything. There's roped off places where you just go, on one floor and then you go to the second floor. So there are stairs in this section too. And you can go at your own pace, really. There's actually two parts where they have like the history of Pennhurst. So you can read all about it. There's, I believe there was a lady who used to work at Pennhurst when it was open. They'll answer questions, everything like that. If you've been to it before there's tons and tons of graffiti in there. There was one part that had this really cool graffiti. It was like this demonic looking angel thing. They did cover that up. So if you were in the past and you remember that, they covered that up with like these giant panels of like the history of Pennhurst. So like I said, you can go at your own pace. You can take your time, read it. You can, if you don't want to read it, you can just walk right by it. It's a building that there's no actors. There's very low lighting. It is a very, very creepy building. I remember the very first time I walked through it, I got a feeling, I'm just like, this place is just, I don't know, I was getting just not a good vibe, energy from it. It just wasn't my thing to go through it. I've done it several times. I would say it's a thing, it's a building, if you've seen it once, you probably don't need to go through it again. They don't change anything other than adding more history of the buildings. But I mean, if you've never been through it, it's definitely cool to check out. Like I said, if you've been through it, it's pretty much the exact same that you're going to see. But it is definitely a very creepy looking building. So after doing all four, after we got done that, we get into like the midway common area where they had food, t-shirts, stuff for sale. I remember in the past, that section being a lot better. It used to be all open. Now they have like a giant tent. Everything's under a big tent now, so I guess if it's raining, that's cool, but I just miss being out in that open and you can see all the buildings surrounding you. They also used to do bonfires. There was no bonfire. Yeah, I don't know, I miss it. I just like the openness of it. The t-shirts were in like this little like shed looking house. Now it's all just out under this tent. There's no really any photo op places or anything like that. And again, there's no actors. You know, usually other places there's like actors out in like the midway common area in lines. I didn't see any other than the guy breathing fire and everything. And like I said, when we got to the morgue part, he was gone. So we didn't even like see what he was doing. I don't know, I wish they would go back, take down the tent and go back to this open area, have the bonfires. As creepy as this place is with all the abandoned buildings, it really lacked atmosphere. Now that they have a giant tent, everything's just kind of like under this tent, and I don't know. There's other places you go. They did have music playing, but you can't hear it over on like underneath that tent. Just other places with like the lights, the music, it just lacked atmosphere. I did hear one of my buddies who does haunt reviews, he was saying that they're going to start knocking down some of the buildings to add additional parking, which they definitely need. They definitely need more parking, but I don't think knocking down these really old abandoned buildings to get the parking is I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with knocking down the buildings. It adds that like creepiness to it. There's nothing too creepy about a parking lot, but hey, I mean, this place gets busy, so they definitely need to do something. Overall, Pennhurst, I'm very, very torn. about what I think of it. I love the actors are great, sets are great, props are great, sensory overload is there. It's a very intense type of attraction. It's just the pricing. The price of this place I have an issue with. I think I don't know. It's just something about the pricing. The fact that it's like $50 to get in for 4 attractions. One attraction is just this thing you walk through and see an old building. But go, if you haven't been there, go check it out. It is definitely worth seeing. Yeah, check it out. But like I said, I'm torn with it. It is a cool place. It's just a little on the pricey side. But thank you for watching. Thank you for all the subscribers. You can find me on Facebook. You can add me as a friend. It's just Fall Ritual. I'm on Instagram at Fall Ritual. So if you go on my Instagram, I did take some pictures of the graffiti in the Mayflower building. So if you want to check out some of the graffiti, you can find it on the Instagram page. Thank you for watching.